Hello everybody, welcome to Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty, and it's great to see you here watching. Thank you for your support, and we start with saying hello to Joe Hupp. Hello to you, thank you for being here. That's really appreciated. And today, it's been a bit of a rush today again, coming back from treatment and so on and so forth, that I've shoved dinner down and I've just about got on in time for this live. So today I'm just going to share with you a Q&A, because some of you are quite new to my channel, so there might be questions that you want to know about, or indeed things you didn't know about or didn't think you'd want to know about me. So it's going to be a Q&A video, and I make these quite often, and I ask that if you've got questions for me, then put them under any video, put them under this live, wherever you want, in my community post. Don't forget to check that out, and I will answer them in a video, and within that video I will do a link to your channel. So I'll give you a shout out to your channel, and you'll see an example of that from the video I'm going to share with you today. So send me your questions, and when I get enough questions to make another video, I will make the video and shout out your channel, as you'll see for this. And while we're talking about my channel, I want to thank you all my subscribers on this channel who have got me to 1K. We got to 1K, so that's great. Thank you so much. I know some of you are from my other channel, New Beginnings, My Everyday Life in Rural Cyprus, and have come over. Some of you are on this channel and now are looking at New Beginnings, My Everyday Life in Rural Cyprus. So thanks for that. But what I'm asking for on this channel is I need the watch hours. I don't have many watch hours because I haven't done a lot really on this channel. So I would be very grateful if you can share my channel out, and I will be popping up more in your chats and so on and so forth under this channel, because that's how my main channel, New Beginnings, actually grew. But what I need is the watch hours, because I would really like to monetize this channel, and the only way to do it is to get more watch hours, which I'm extremely short on. It's technically a new channel, this one, hence why it doesn't have many watch hours. So if you could do that, that's part of the reason for doing lives as well on this channel, to spread the word. So without further ado, I'm going to share the video for you. It's a Q&A, and I will talk with you, do some chat after this video. So stay tuned for some important information. Book, movie or theatre? Well, I would say a book for sure. I'm always reading books, whether it be a handheld book or on Kindle. But I do prefer an actual proper book because I'm sitting for a long time and then he can join me. Movies, yes, that's something I like to do with Mike, so that's more sociable. We sit and put on a movie from YouTube of an evening or a hot afternoon when we're in siesta time. So that. Theatre, well, that's my background, TV and stage work. So that's always fun, particularly behind the scenes, backstage. But overall, for me, book.
Get bored with books and theatre. Not really in the theatre either, to be perfectly honest. I much more rather sit and watch an enjoyable film.
Well, food-wise, Zivanir is the main drink, which is like a fire water, if you like. They say you can put it on paint to strip paint. It's good for your stomach, sure. It burns out any infection. But it's a short drink, you have a tiny bit. It's very clear and it's super. That's what the main drink of Cyprus is. Although there are other Cypruses for drink purposes. Our main brand of beer is Keo, and there are many more other drinks typical only Cyprus. Food, I would say, obviously, if you're cooking in a certain way, the classico way to cook the lamb oven for hours, in an oven. Cheeses, halloumi is only allowed to be produced in Cyprus and must carry the logo now. Feta cheese also. But if we're talking about actual products, the things to look for when you come to buy here: leather, copper, pottery, silver and lace. They are the main things, and if you want to know more about those, I have been covering each one of those slowly, so you can learn a lot more. All made by hand.
Most of the major products are all to do with goats. You've got halloumi and the bifo, really nice to eat. Nice and tender, done properly in the oven.
Yes, Cyprus. Here, thank you very much. Travel. We had the choice of any country to make our final move to, and all things considered, we chose Cyprus. If I had to leave here and go somewhere else, we did consider the Caribbean. I love it. I love everything being free in Cuba, though I understand things there, why they are so. If I had to go somewhere else, perhaps I would choose somewhere in the Caribbean, Bahamas, for example. For me, I'm staying here, thanks very much. So I did choose Cyprus.
Nowhere in particular. What I would like to do is get on one of these space things and black around the world and have a look at the world from space. Otherwise, no. Nowhere else I'd really want to go at the moment. Spain or Portugal because I never fancied going to Portugal. Been to France, came to Cyprus a couple of times, was really nice. There are other countries to live in, and too far away from that, it seemed like the ideal place.
For me, I have done videos on this before, and I will link 2 of them in the description below that tells of our journey here to Cyprus and why we picked Cyprus. But in brief, there was for us the beyond Europe for the good weather, and our summers are far extended. In Portugal, you don't get such harsh winters, and our days get hot from early in the morning to late at night. That suits us. And one of the other main categories was price comparison for land property, particularly cultivated land, and also houses that were ready built in comparison to rural land in other countries ruined. Find costly in comparison, and also no bureaucracy with paperwork and permissions. They're the main factors.
Tomatoes, because they're versatile with vitamins and really good flavour.
Ha! An easy question for me. Any kind of zucchini, because it's so versatile. It and freeze it as you like. Freeze it, make it into so many different things, and it's so easy to grow.
Obviously the weather. It's just getting more damp, miserable and cold in England. In your car, take the top off, chances are you were going to get wet because it was going to rain even during the summer holidays. So it wasn't enjoyable at all living in that sort of climate. Whereas out here, yeah, okay, it gets cooler in the winter, not as cold as back in England, but it's still manageable and you can get on with things.
Well, that's a difficult question to pick one thing. It's obviously a multiple of things, but I would say if I have to say one thing overall, it's the landscape of the country. So particularly the area we've chosen to live, the scenery, the landscape, the open spaces, that is my number one thing. You've got the sea, the mountains, the countryside, and yet places to go, theatres, they're in easy reach. So location, site is the scenery. Good question. For the longest time I can remember, I was a hairdresser. I'd always thought that, and I think the reason for that was my mum wasn't very good at doing hair. She could do basic pigtails, plaits, whatever you may call them, and ponytails and half ponytails, and she wasn't too bad doing the buns for dancing. But I wanted exotic hairstyles, fancy things, and she couldn't do them. So I said I was going to be a hairdresser. And I stuck with that for a very long time. I even got a place in the London College of Fashion to be a hairdresser, and my mum banned me from doing it because she didn't want me travelling on the tube to go to London for the coursework each day, and she certainly didn't want me to live there. So that was out, plus the fact that you had to work Saturdays being a hairdresser, and I give up dancing if you do that, because dancing was all day Saturday. So that's when it finished, the idea of being a hairdresser.
Well, quite fed. No, not at all. I'm both looking forward to it.
No, not at all. Not for either of us in any respect. Is there anything we miss from England? No. Who decided on it? Well, Mike initially suggested Cyprus, but when I came and looked, I knew it was the option for us both to cover what we both wanted and needed. What's our biggest regret? Nothing. The only thing that I lost from moving here was my very high disability benefits and all the things that came with that, such as a PA, which I need. Mike does his best for me, but I could do with a permanent PA, a personal assistant. So that's the only thing, but I was willing to give up that. Obviously, I gave up my huge dance school. I've spoken of the history of that and what I've done from there and so forth. But Mike now has shaky hands, so he couldn't continue working anyway. So that was something we didn't foresee, but that worked out fine. And to this life and not have a job than it would to work. So there's that. So no regrets at all. We're near enough, if anyone. I'm here cheaply and quickly, so that's not a downside. And that was one of the reasons I switched my wedding to here. Might thought it'd be lovely if we switched it from Mauritius, where we had it all thought and planned but not actually paid for. So we switched it to here, as Mike said, well, would you rather do it where it's going to be our new home, and then people could come easily to the wedding as well if they wanted to. So no regrets at all. The only other thing maybe I miss, but I don't regret to move back for it, is being able to get anywhere and everywhere easily for me on public transport. There now are no trains in Cyprus, so that's the only way I'm stuck. But apart from that, no regrets at all. And it was so easy to move here, I couldn't wait. Hence I came out here a month before Mike to live, because he had to finish his time at work, his notice, whereas I could move straight away. So I remember we weren't married then, so I just hope he was still going to come. Had he not have come, I would have stayed here anyway. So that just shows you. And it was good because I came out that month early. I got things set up here, and he finished off things there. So I hope that answers your question quite fully. I think maybe you might also have been talking about the transition to Cyprus. I've just thought maybe that's something you was interested in. When we moved here, it was part of the EU, so things were very similar. We drive on the same side of the road as England, so for Mike that wasn't an issue. Everything was pretty straightforward, and this links into the question of why Cyprus. It was the most least paperwork, least fiff-faff. Do you know fiff-faff? Messing about or going here everywhere. Cypriots do complain about paperwork and those kind of things, officialdom, but it's nothing to us. We come from England, which is far more not allowing you things that you're entitled to unless you know about them, and so on and so forth. Everything was quite easy, straightforward, very quick to buy property here. It's a matter of weeks. Nothing is very expensive here. There was a lot of similar things because there are English connections in history. So there's a lot of similarity here. We found it's really helpful. Everything's word of mouth. For example, if you want directions to somewhere, they will tell you instead of left, right, down this road, that road, and names of roads, they will say things like, go to Stelios' house. If you can't find the way from there, ask him. Or if not, go on to Petros' house and then find the old goat farm, and that will be the way directions are. So I like there's not a lot of internet, website, that kind of thing here. It is literally word of mouth, where to go and things like that. So things are easy to find out and do. Any other transitions? As I say, documents, paperwork. That's all very simple. The hardest thing was but the documents are actually in ancient Greek, and that's another thing altogether. But no, people will help you. Translators are here, there, and everywhere if you want them. No problem. Good question. I like aniseed sweets. What would I be? I think a soft centre. Any soft centre for sure. That's my personality. Although maybe with a hard coating, because I have to trust people first, and I will not be taken for a ride. And as you all know, I like fair play, so I need that hard surface to do my battles for others. But what sort of sweet will I be? I'm going to say something like a Texan bar, which was an English sweet bar. Think of like a Mars bar, as in chocolate bar, and the inner, it wasn't nougat because teas. So let's say I'm a Texan bar. Next question.
What of? So I know what I'm capable of doing till I go.
Well, that's a great question. I would say when. Because if it's a car crash, then you're going to worry every time you get in a car. Whereas if you know when when you're going. You can think about it. So I would definitely say when.
Didn't choose farm life, and it wasn't a question of choice of one or the other. It was a question of looking around for property to whatever property we wanted. Went from there. Yeah.
As Mike explains, we actually bought the beach more space, and we gave the details to the estate agent, and this is village life. We like the immersion more into the real life of the rural local people, and they love us. I chose to be a homesteader. Basically, everyone calls me the accidental homesteader. All it was some olive trees here. Obviously we had to learn how to deal with those, and then we bought some tomatoes and some peppers, and I said, oh hey, I'm going to grow these, and it just stemmed from there. I'm not a farmer, or not really a homesteader, hence why it's that in my channel name. I just enjoy growing things, and it's crazy, but this is part of why I wouldn't have animals. I've never intended to be a homesteader. Enjoy growing. That we live here rather than the coast, the cost of living with all the land we have are far less than we had by the beach, so there's less bills. Also now, particularly because of the pandemic, that two things could afford to still keep living, which has, if we're to be in the beach property, and we get free water here, there's a local spring, so there's far less. In a town or by the beach, I could not have left the house. But here I could wander around, and we can have workaways come and help us. So they are the main factors. Sitting around is not for us, and we have views of the sea, as you can tell by this picture. Perfect. So I hope you enjoyed that, and there was some information for you there that you might not have known about, particularly if you're new to my channel. And I've been asked to, well, I haven't been asked to, but people are wanting clarification of some of the things that are going on with me. I have said I'm not going to use my channels for pity me parties, but because I've been asked by my kind-hearted viewers, I will just clarify the following. There are several things going on with me at the moment. There's not one thing. There are several multiple things, not even discussing my brain damage and all the disabilities and complications that brings me in my everyday life. Basically, one of the things was recently I had a fall. I fall all the time, but I had a particularly bad fall and ended up in the emergency room. I couldn't walk at all. and one of the parts of me damaged was my foot. And I'll show you again the footage. I wasn't allowed to walk on it. I was told not to walk on it again, ever, until it stopped hurting, which it wouldn't have stopped hurting. So basically the bottom line was, well, if it hurts, don't walk on it. And long story short, I went to another surgeon, and he got me to go to trauma therapy, but a trauma place for serious injuries. They think there was a fracture there, but it got missed because of where the fracture was. And long story short, also there's other trauma there, and there's permanent ligament damage. So now this is what I have to use, and I've had physio and all sorts of treatment on it. And this is now for somebody who asked, what is it that you've now got on your leg? I now have reduced to my foot having, it's not strapping, but that's as close as what I can say to you it is. It's a form of tape, but it's not tape, and it basically pulls the ligaments into a set position, and in that way they will mend as good as possible, or at least keep my foot firm so I don't have as much pain to walk. So this is the what I have. So this is, as I say, think of it as strapping, but not just stretchy, sticky bandage or something like that. So I've tried to show you from different old sock. It's like, no. It's basically a form of tape. That's the closest I can say to you, but it's this special stuff that holds ligaments in place. And as you can see, I have two parts of that. Whether that's going to be a long-term thing or short-term, I don't know. But that's basically what I have now. I still have other problems with the foot, so I'm having physio for other parts as well. And then they put this stuff back on. After that, I've come back from there today. Today I'm not well anyway, because I have to have the flu jab, which I know a lot of people have, and some of you will say you don't feel well after that. But bear in mind, I have no immune system. It's actually very dangerous for me to have the flu jab or any other form of injection or medication. And obviously, though, I have to weigh out the difference between becoming very ill, which I can feel it coming on now. So I'll probably take the whole weekend off, and I have to weigh up having a little bit of flu injection in me, or the worry of getting flu, and that does put me in hospital for a very long time if I get flu, because I have no immune system to cope with it. So that's something else. I also have to go for another treatment for something completely unrelated, apart from the fact it's another thing I'm not immune against, and I've got to go for injections for that. I was due to have that now, but because the doctor wanted to do the flu injection now, I have to wait 2 months before I can have this other injection for something else I get that is caused by having no immune system, something I'm prone to. So there's that. What else? I also have some internal situations going on, which I'm not commenting on, because some of the treatment, I have my own reasons for what I do and don't have as treatment. As I say, part of it is I'm run down on a permanent basis because I have no immune system, and everything in my life is a daily struggle, because just using my brain to think what I'm doing from 1 second to the next, things become difficult. So not discussing that too far, other than to say there are more than one situations internally going on, and one, I choose not to have treatment because I can't have treatment for various reasons, And then I got called into the doctor's surgery to discuss further results or further things found from this scan. I had literally all my internal organs scanned. That's how bad things have got for me. So pancreas, kidney, liver, stomach, you name it. If it's in there, I had it all scanned and checked out. And they have come back with, can you believe it, yet another devastating problem I have, and it is chronic, and it will be a problem for the rest of my life. So that is something I'm struggling with right now as well. I can be positive, but for goodness sake, how much positivity do you have to have on a daily basis when you keep being told something else, something else, something else? And that's without daily life problems, which is a completely another story as well. So that's basically summary, let's call it a summary of people who sometimes do get the wrong end of the stick. And if you want to hear more, when I did my final chat on it before, because I don't want to make that a whole thing in my video, I wrote down, it's my live from my other channel, New Beginnings, my everyday life in rural Cyprus, that went out on Wednesday, the 4th of October, because I don't want to be continually answering questions. So that's another reason I did the summary today, because I know a lot of you aren't viewers from that channel, you're viewers from this channel. So that will be my only other updates on that, other than to say I now have a lifetime condition, apart from the brain damage, which is progressive. Everyone says I look happy and I seem to be fine. You only see me here. And it does take a lot to be here, and that's why I make sure I'm here. It gives me something that I have to do. So I know you don't have to do YouTube, but for me, I do, to keep my brain functioning. So wish me all your best. As I say, let's look at the positives. For now, I've got 1K on this channel, and if I can get watch hours built up from literally not very much, then hopefully I can monetize this, and that will help me on a daily basis. I have no income at all, nothing. In Cyprus, you don't get benefits if you're not a Cypriot. So I don't have any benefits for my conditions, which I did have in England, but then it cost too much to do anything else there. So I'm literally freelance, if you like. So I would like to monetize this channel. So if you can share my channel and push my channel out there. And as I say, it's not just about thumbs up and dropping in and comment, it's the watch hours I need. So if you can do that, I thank you very much. And I'm going to finish here with a quote and my outro. Thanks for being here, guys. And always remember, there is always someone worse off than you.